Do we need an NFL team to accomplish any of the things we've been talking about here in St. Louis?
I think we do, absolutely. I mean, it's an asset that we currently have. So, it's not like it's one that we're seeking, we have it. So I think there are two aspects to this. Number one, we don't want to lose it. I think that certainly in the context of what's gone on in St. Louis over the last year, it would take on a little bit more meaning than just losing an NFL football team.
Explain what you mean.
So we've had a rough go over the last 6 to 9 months. Just the region with the safety and security issues, the diversity issues that have come to the surface. And I would echo what Randy said a little bit earlier about sports being something that brings people together. It doesn't matter what, when we're all rooting for the Cardinals or for the Rams, it doesn't matter how many zeros are on our paycheck, which neighborhood we live in, we are all behind a common cause. And so I think sporting events have been something that St. Louis has done really well for a really long time. So I think that we have a bit of a battered reputation, in the national media over the last 6 to 9 months, and I feel like if we would lose an NFL team, it would carry a meaning that goes a little bit beyond just losing an NFL team. It would very likely be lumped into, have a bigger connotation for why that happened.
Are sports that big? I mean, we get a little cynical sometimes. These guys are making millions upon millions of dollars to play a child's game.
Yeah. Full disclosure, it's my profession. So I would say yes, but
it's pretty big.
From a couple of standpoints. Number one, I think one of the things that we do really well, and probably the thing we do best in St. Louis, is sports. There are things, we've got a great zoo, we've got a great symphony orchestra, we've got the startups that Missy talked about. But what St. Louis should strive to be is the best sports town. We're chasing Indianapolis in that regard right now. Indy has got the NCAA. They built their new stadium. They're going to have a Final Four every 4 years, 5 years. And I think that that's something that we should take pride in. And I think the other thing that, and I know there are a lot of people that don't love the idea of, or don't like at all the idea of a new stadium. I use all of the aspects of St. Louis. I'm a Muni season ticket holder. I use Creve Coeur Park to ride my bike. I must admit, I don't use the Symphony Orchestra, but I don't begrudge people that do. I see no reason why we can't have it all. I think that we can be great and have all of those things. And I don't know why anybody would want to begrudge the people that do enjoy football the opportunity to go see it. And I do think, when you talk about the millennials, and I think we'll hear this later, this is something that draws people to St. Louis. I think if you're trying, Missy, you can help me here. I think if you're trying to draw companies to St. Louis, having an NFL team is better than not having an NFL team.
Absolutely. Talent, bringing different talent in, and they look at all of the things that the city has to offer. I mean, 22 of the top 23 MSAs in the country have an NFL team, and that one that doesn't is LA, and they're trying to get 2 right now. So I think that, if we want to be a top-tier city, remain at least on par with other top-tier cities, this is something that we need to keep. It's one more asset that we have that is attractive to multi-generations and again, to different people of different diversities.
Yeah. First paper I worked at, Danville, Illinois. One day, shortly I'd been there, fax machine blows up. We were in the media contingent of the Indianapolis Colts. They moved in the middle of the night to Indianapolis, okay? From there, you said, like, we have a football team. Same thing, next paper, Lansing, Michigan. We had hockey and had all these things. Never mind the college there at Michigan State, but you had the Detroit Lions, you had the Detroit Red Wings, you had the Detroit Tigers. You made the trip down. So the same way, because the team is here in St. Louis, now we know this from the Cardinals. Where do people come from to see the Cardinals play? Oklahoma, Arkansas, Illinois, Iowa, from all over. The same thing is true with
from the old coverage area of KMOX.
Yeah, exactly.
But I get the analogy.
People make the trip. Now they may not be season ticket holders, but they come to see a game, and it may be a preseason game. That's what's like, oh, nobody comes to see preseason games. So like, no, people with their families might come down, spend the weekend, go see a preseason game.
Do we have hard numbers? Is it really, does it pencil out to have an NFL team? Is there a monetary benefit?
Again, I would just say that if 22 of the 23 top tier cities have it, I got to believe that there's, that it's paying out. I certainly don't have the numbers for that. But I would say that, when you have an asset like an NFL team, you then bring people downtown or to the city, and they then enjoy the other assets that downtown has to offer. I mean, we've got now with the City Arch River project, underway, and the arch grounds being very well underway. Once all of that is complete, there will be a very inviting pedestrian path to the many assets that downtown has to offer. We have 1 square mile, and all of the professional sports teams are within 1 square mile, and that's just the sports teams. Then you have the museums and the green space that we'll have. So I think the economic impact is significant.
Sorry to put you on the spot. Frank Cusimano did a report. I think it's like $7.9 something million in income tax alone that the state gets from the NFL, $500,000 or so the city.
Right, and that doesn't even include the tax on things like concessions and merchandising.
Correct.
So that $12 million that the state is paying, as Dave Peacock said at the press conference, there's a net benefit to the Rams being here, at least from a tax standpoint. The other point that I was going to make is that obviously Rams fans have been beaten down, but when they were winning, and even when they drafted Sam Bradford, there was more than even a regional draw. A lot of people came here from Oklahoma and bought season tickets to watch the Rams to see Sam Bradford play. And we talk about the Cardinals and the amount of people that they draw from the region. Well, down in Jacksonville right now, Mark Lamping is marketing the Jaguars in the exact same way. He's got Jaguars caravans. He's marketing to an entire region rather than just the Jacksonville area. And there's nothing better than the NFL to set up for that. Have people come in on a Saturday night, watch the game on a Sunday, and then go home on Sunday night. It works out perfectly.
Right. If you've ever been to Jacksonville, he's got a tougher sell than we have in St. Louis. I mean, that's the reality. One, they're big on college football, but please, Jacksonville is where Jacksonville is. Okay? And the weather doesn't cooperate early because it's too hot. And it's just, they got a tougher sell, but yet, you know, they're making it go. We can make it go here. Ask the Drury, ask the Four Seasons, ask those hotels downtown. If there was no football team, what would this mean to you? It's like it would mean less employees, it would mean less revenue, it would mean less taxes, it would mean less. And some cities could say 12 dates don't make a difference. St. Louis is not one of those. Those 12 are very important.